Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. This is the second part of our Mariah Island cruise videos, and this is where we actually go on to Mariah Island. So the ferry will let you disembark at Darlington, where you are greeted by the massive old cement silos and the commissary building. Now with the day cruise we only had 2 hours on Mariah Island, but if you'd like to stay for longer or even for a couple of days, you can do so by booking the Encounter Mariah Island ferry. I'll leave a link to both the Mariah Island Day Cruise and Walk and Encounter Mariah Island ferry websites in the description box below. Please also note, regardless of how long you visit Mariah Island, you are responsible for bringing all your supplies for your stay, as there is no shops on the island. And you'll also need to take all rubbish with you when you leave. I'll talk more about accommodation options later in the video. For our 2 hours on the island, we're given the option to go and explore by ourselves or to take the guided tour. So we decided to take the guided tour, which was great because we got a lot of information that we probably would have missed out on. We started at the commissary building, which gives you more of the European history of Mariah Island, as well as an idea of the topography of the island and some information about the animals that currently live on Mariah Island. Mariah Island has been a fauna reserve since the early 1960s. As a result, lots of species that are native to Tasmania have been taken out to the island to help boost their populations. This has been done most recently with the Tasmanian devil to hopefully build up a population that is free from the devil facial tumour. Whilst you're not likely to see Tasmanian devils while you are here, you will definitely encounter Cape Barren geese, wombats, which you'll see more of later, and wallabies. During the 1800s, sealers and whalers were based on Mariah Island from time to time, as they were the two lucrative industries of Van Diemen's Land. Mariah Island was a penal settlement for 2 periods of time. The first one being between 1825 and 1832, and again between 1842 and 1851. During the second period of being a penal colony, Mariah Island tended to hold political prisoners from other British colonies, such as William Smith O'Brien from Ireland and Hohepa Tamura, as well as 4 other Maoris that were charged with insurrection in New Zealand. During both penal settlement periods, there was attempts to escape, but with swimming not being that great back then, they didn't go well. The area that we're in now is also where most of the accommodation for Mariah Island is. You have 2 options, using one of the 3 campsites at either Darlington, which is where we are now, and close to the ferry, or at French's Farm and Encampment Cove, which are both 3 to 4 hours walk away. These sites don't have to be booked, but you do have to be mindful when there is peak seasons. The other option is the old penitentiary bunk rooms. There is a communal kitchen available for use and toilets, but there is no showers and you do need to bring all your own kitchen gear. That does include cutlery and cooking equipment. Water on Mariah Island also needs to be boiled before it is drank or used for cooking. And as mentioned before, there is no rubbish bins on Mariah Island, so you do need to take all your rubbish with you. At this stage of the tour, we were given the option to either separate from the group or can keep going with the tour. I decided to hang around in Darlington to watch some wombats and enjoy the beach, and Ben continued with the tour. Thanks to our island's geology, you can find fossils throughout the island. As you saw in our previous video, there is a cliff face that is called Fossil Cliff, but they can be found by just walking around. The cement silos that you saw at the start of the video were not from the convict period, but were actually built in the early 20th century as part of the cement factory that was set up. In the 1880s, Diego Bonacci visited the island and saw its potential and set up several different industries, including wine and silk, but the one that was most impactful to the island was the cement factory. This was built in the 1920s. As well as the factory, there was a 2-foot gauge tramway to help delivering the cement to the jetty, as well as housing for the workers. However, by July 1930, all these ventures had failed, including the cement factory, for a number of reasons. With the cement factory, the limestone was quite poor, and also there was competition from mainland producers, and as you can imagine, by the year that I mentioned, the Great Depression was the final nail in the coffin. Thank you very much for watching the second part of our Mariah Island trip. We hope that it inspired you to plan your own trip to Mariah Island, whether it be through the cruise or your own self-guided trip. If you haven't seen it already, I'll leave the link to the first video about the cruise around Seal Island down in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video and are planning a trip to Tasmania, make sure you check out our playlists of Tasmanian videos or subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.